Weather Extra starts now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm First Alert meteorologist filling in for Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt on this Thursday evening, or Friday Eve as we like to call it around here. Put a positive spin on it. This is our 30-minute all-digital weather streaming show that you can find on any of our streaming platforms. That also includes social media, Facebook, Instagram, and of course we're going to be available on Roku if you're watching us from there, like mine at home. Maybe my cat Ophelia is watching right now, our Amazon Fire Stick, and of course lots of other ways. YouTube as well we have recently added, so make sure you're following us on there. I know a lot of you are probably sweating it out right now. Hopefully you're inside at home with the AC running on high. That heat has been no joke this week. So let's look at what we're dealing with in terms of weather right now. Those weather headlines here over the next week. You're probably wondering, are we going to be seeing a return of spring? Because this is way too summer-like. Well, we're still going to be staying hot through the end of the work week. For tomorrow, still not out of the question to see some 90s in the forecast, but we are going to see some subtle changes tomorrow. Maybe a little pop-up shower or storm. Most of us will end up staying dry, but we do have more pop-up storms returning over the weekend. Saturday, some hit or miss storms, and then for next week, starting on Sunday, our next big thing is a transition to a wetter weather pattern. I know we don't like to see rain on the weekend, but I know we have certainly been at a deficit for rainfall in Alabama, and meteorologist Matt Daniel will be talking more about those drought conditions that we've been seeing across the U.S. and here in Alabama later in the show. Right now, though, check out those temperatures. I mean, we are almost on the cusp of 7 p.m., not far from sunset now, and temperatures are still well into the 80s. We're at 89 in Birmingham, 87 over in Starkville, Mississippi at Mississippi State, 87 down in my hometown of Valdosta, 87 in Atlanta. So wherever you are across the southeast, the heat has been a little brutal. It never helps, too, that the humidity runs high. Looking at our First Alert sky vision right now, it just looks hot outside, right, from Summiton. Summiton, always one of our most beautiful cameras, though. We get that beautiful view of the green trees, but notice the grass is certainly looking a little dry. So a lot of your lawns and gardens have probably been hurting for some rain. We'll finally get some in the forecast, but for now, it's been warm. It's been hot and breezy today and on the dry side. So a lot of us actually checking in Birmingham still at 91 degrees. So that was just kind of a general idea. A lot of us in the low 90s, upper 80s. We're at 90 in Columbiana, 89 in Tuscaloosa. As that sun sets, more of us will be getting into the 80s, but we've just been really dry. As we look at our First Alert AccuTrack, we are seeing some stormy weather, some severe weather up across the Midwest, but we've had a ridge of high pressure set up over the southeast. And so that's been blocking anything in the way of rain from coming our way, whether from the Gulf or from any storm systems to our north. That will be changing, though, because eventually this ridge of high pressure is going to break down a little bit over the weekend, and that's going to allow some disturbances, some fronts to get nearby, and allow some elevated rain chances. But as far as looking ahead to the weekend, like we said, Friday Eve, one step closer. The next 24 hours, we are going to be seeing an increase in cloud cover. Now tonight, mostly clear skies, but tomorrow morning, I mean, we're just not going to cool down much. Temperatures right near 70 degrees. So walk out the door with the short sleeves on. And if you're going to be doing anything outside tomorrow, even with a few more clouds around, you got to wear that sunscreen because that UV index is getting higher. We've got those southerly winds in place, going to be coming in at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Even our futurecast is like, I'm not really sold on there being a pop-up shower storm tomorrow, so it's going to be very isolated. Now, you could be that person who it ends up raining overhead tomorrow. Most of us are going to be staying dry, though, so if you have any Friday evening plans, shouldn't be having any issues with that. But as we look ahead to next week, certainly could be seeing some wet weather that could put a damper on your plans. But one thing that we've been dealing with is not just the heat, the humidity. So you're like, all right, well, if it's going to rain, maybe it won't be as hot. Will it be as humid? Well, unfortunately, when it rains, you got more moisture in the atmosphere. So it definitely looks, this is looking at dew points here. This isn't actually air temperature. Dew points tell us how much moisture is in the air. So when you see dew points in the 60s, definitely going to be humid outside. So if we're going to be seeing an increase in moisture in the way of rain, then it's not out of the question that we're still going to be on the humid side too. So of course, we're all focused on that rain coming in. I know we don't want to see it over the weekend, but we have certainly been seeing some dry weather here in central Alabama, especially East Alabama. So we could use a little bit more rain in the forecast. But coming up on First Alert Weather Extra, we are going to be talking about those low-end drought conditions, checking in with meteorologist Matt Daniel, and then absolutely Alabama himself, Fred, visits a sod farm. Yes, it's about as exciting as it sounds. So we can't wait to check in with Fred on that. And then beyond the 7-day with meteorologist Jill Gilardi and checking in with Mickey Ferguson on that fishing and lake forecast as we head one step closer to the weekend. First Alert Weather Extra, we'll be right back.
The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us, on air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we First Alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan, filling in for Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt this evening. I know it's been mighty hot this week, but one thing you've probably also noticed, and I'm sure your plants have noticed, Jill and I were just talking about how our plants have not been happy. There hasn't been a lot of rain lately, and we could certainly use some wet weather. We check in now with meteorologist Matt Daniel on a drought update.
All right, every Thursday morning we get the latest drought monitor, and this doesn't really shock me. It probably won't shock you either, but last week we were all clear. This week we're starting to see those yellow colors show up in the northern halves of Alabama and in Georgia, and that yellow indicating abnormally dry conditions. And notice that's showing up in parts of Marion County, also into Coleman, into Blount, into St. Clair, Etowah, Calhoun, Cherokee counties. So yeah, we need some rain. It's been pretty dry across the southeast. We've got drought conditions as well in parts of Louisiana. You can see that in this map as we zoom on out. And the drought's really significant, especially as you go west of the Mississippi River. And yeah, we got some issues there. When you have a lot of dry conditions, of course, you have to worry about you know, perhaps some wildfires and smoke. That could be an issue. In fact, every little red dot you see on this map showing either a wildfire or something burning, and we've had a pretty significant one in parts of New Mexico, and some of that smoke has definitely spread towards the east. And so if you start seeing those hazy conditions over the past day or so, some of that is responsible for some of the wildfire smoke out in parts of the west. So definitely hoping they can get some rain as well, and we're hoping we can get some significant rainfall over the next couple of days. Here's a look at the past 5 days of rainfall across the country. And most of the active weather has been north of the southeast. We've had a ridge of high pressure keeping us dry. We had some coastal regions, maybe get a little bit of rain, especially in parts of Florida. But that bulk of that rain has been mainly in parts of the central United States, Midwest, Great Lakes into the north and east, where they've had some active showers and storms. Let's talk about the rainfall so far for the month of May. And for Birmingham, we haven't even recorded a half of an inch of rainfall. And we're almost done with the month. We only got, 10, 11 days or so. And here you go. Normally we should pick up 5 inches of rainfall, and we're nowhere near that. So we're going to be watching that very closely. And here's a look at how much rainfall we would typically see in Tuscaloosa and Anniston, about 3 to 4.5 inches of rainfall. And you can see Anniston's been really dry, and Tuscaloosa's picked up almost 3 inches of rain. So not as bad in parts of Tuscaloosa. So we're going to be watching that closely. Obviously, rainfall pretty limited as we go into tomorrow, but those rain chances definitely ramp up as we go into the weekend. So hopefully you might not have to water the lawn or the garden. And as we look at the country as a whole for potential rainfall totals over the next 7 days, you can see the wet weather definitely east of the Mississippi. So some heavy rainfall. In some spots, getting some drought conditions could actually get a little bit of relief. Notice a lot of heavy rainfall possible for parts of Dallas up into Arkansas, and that's where they're seeing some drought as well. So that would be encouraging news. Maybe some rainfall along Louisiana where they could use it. And of course here locally, maybe we'll get some much needed rainfall going into the weekend and early next week. We'll cross our fingers, hope we get a good soaking rain as we go into Sunday into Monday.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't rain on Saturday, right? Then we're more than welcome to the rain. Well, I know a lot of you, like Matt was saying, have been working out in your lawns and gardens, having to do that supplemental watering. So now we're going to check in with Mr. Absolutely Alabama meteorologist Fred Hunter to talk more about sod in your yard.
Well, on this Absolutely Alabama Weather Extra, we're sitting here with Christina Warner McGinnis of Warner Farms in Baldwin County. They are, for want of a better term, sod farmers, but a lot more. Obviously, you deal with the weather, Christina, and not only that, but climate change and everything associated with it. We're coming into the hot part of the year. Let's talk about our yards and gardens and what you do to help people.
Oh, wow. So yeah, we're about to head into the dog days of summer. So that's coming sooner rather than later. And it's really important to start with a soil kit. Okay, so let's take a look at the soil chemistry of what's going on in the soil. Help you grow a healthy lawn or garden. Take a look at exactly what's going on with the science and then connect you right to the solutions to take care of it. Incredibly important. And also, with the rain as unexpected as it is, it's really important. One of the things that's really bad for the lawn is too much water. So make sure that you really monitor that. I'd rather have a deeper watering, less frequent, than a more frequent watering, and then you don't really get what you need to get in the health of the lawn. And on top of it, if you are watering your lawn, make sure to do it in the morning time and not the evening time, because you're just asking for a disease if you do it a lot in the afternoon, late in the day.
Okay, and you mentioned testing the soil. You say, well, how do I do that? You know, well, you have the solution to that as well. Talk about the handy dandy Christina inspired soil test.
Okay, so everyone says it. I know I should do it. But it's complicated, they don't make time for it. So it is one of the most important tests. The USDA recommends everyone does one annually, okay? When was your last soil test?
It's about to be the
Okay, I'll get you one, I'll get you one. So we make it super easy and simple, and you can order this online with free shipping. And Auburn has the Auburn Soil Test Kit powered by Soil Kit. Everything is included, postage is paid for. We go through a digital registration process, satellite imagery to help you calculate your square feet, because nobody knows really how many square feet, they kind of guess. Let's lay at the satellite imagery, we'll drop the pins, calculate it, go through it easy, and geolocate. You just want to hit the geolocate button, I'll know exactly where you are, hit register, give you a video, go out and take some soil, put it in the bag, put it in the postage, and then guess what? It's going right to the Auburn lab. They're waiting on it. They're going to check it in for you, get everything going, go through many, many steps at the Auburn lab. The science in the lab there is just absolutely remarkable. When they're done, they put all the results back into the cloud. We give you a very prescriptive, customized shopping list. You'll know exactly where to go, what to get, and how to take care of your lawn and garden this year.
one thing you told me that I have learned that I may have been doing right, and that has to do with cutting your grass. Now, everybody says, what's the big deal with cutting your grass? You just cut your grass. But so many people bag their grass.
Right.
It looks kind of nice when you do it, but you're not doing your lawn a favor by doing that. Explain why.
So this is great. Okay, so you're looking at your grass. I never want you to take more of the third of the blade. So take no more than a third of the top of the blade, cut it off with sharp mowing blades, let it return back into the soil. It has all kinds of different nutrients. It's going to naturally fertilize the lawn to get it going again. Right. But if you were to put it in a bag, it goes to the landfill and it creates methane gas. And that's not good for climate change. That's not good for anything. So let that naturally decompose in your lawn and naturally fertilize.
And just doing something as simple as growing your grass, having a lawn, you're doing a favor not just for your grass or your neighborhood, but for the community, for the world, you said. I thought that was really interesting. Why is that?
Okay, so this is what's so key. The plants need to eat nutrients. So we need to give it the right food at the right rate at the right time. So what's important about that is when you use Soil Kit, you get exactly, in this case, the Auburn science to tell you what is exactly needed. And that's important for optimal plant health. But it's also good because that plant uses it and it doesn't wash off into the watersheds, because that harms the communities, the environments, and our marine life. And so what's good for our plant helps heal the soil, it captures more carbon, and it sequesters more from our global climate change issue that we're dealing with right now. And that's good for the plants, it's good for the communities, and it's good for the world.
So if you have a nice lawn, you're actually helping combat global warming.
And it only takes like a 50 by 50 to produce oxygen for a family of 4. So I mean, think about it. You know, it's bringing in that carbon and it's, you know, it's putting out the oxygen. So let's take in that carbon dioxide and put out that oxygen.
Okay, Christina could talk to us all day about not just your yard, but the planet. But from Warner Farms, you can get in contact with them online, and I promise your yard will thank you for it.
Thank you so much for that enlightening report. I'm going to have to hit her up to not only come and investigate my hibiscus, but to talk more about climate change. We certainly don't want to not cover that on First Alert Weather Extra, but we'll be right back after this break. Coming up, we're going to look at your full 7-day forecast and check in with Jill for beyond the 7-day.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert Weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worry about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Everyone's been telling me I've been matching the temperature map tonight. I'm like, oh my goodness, I guess I am. So we've still got temperatures right around 90 degrees right now. We're at 91 in Birmingham, 90 in Columbiana. The rest of us have managed to get down into the 80s, still in the 90s in Utah. But once that sun sets, we'll see temperatures drop a little bit at least. But it's been bone dry today. You'll notice some storms off to our north across the Midwest, getting closer to the Great Lakes. This is where severe weather has been outbreaking, but we haven't had any here in our neck of the woods because there's been a ridge of high pressure basically putting a lid on the atmosphere, preventing any rain or storms from developing. That will be changing though. Our next big thing is a transition to an unsettled weather pattern. Tomorrow's still looking dry and pretty hot. Temperatures getting into the low 90s tomorrow afternoon, but notice what pops up. A wee little rain chance. So we have a first alert for maybe a stray thunderstorm tomorrow. I think most of us are going to be staying dry, hot, and breezy with those south winds in place at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it should be good if you have any Friday evening plans. Just stay up to date on the First Alert weather app. Saturday morning, though, it's like, is there going to be any rain around for Sprint for Sloths? Yes, that is an elephant. We don't have any sloth photos, but hey, the elephant, like myself, will be strolling along at the zoo for the Sprint for Sloths 5K. It does look like it's going to be dry. Definitely going to be warm, of course, and humid, but later in the afternoon, if you're going to be going to the Taco Fest in Birmingham at Sloss Furnaces, that's when you could see a few storms around. I don't think it's going to be a washout, but certainly not out of the question for some pop-up showers and storms to develop. Eventually, though, by Sunday, that kicks off a wetter weather pattern where we could be having more rain and storms in the forecast next week, maybe a good 2 to 3 inches of rain. So as we look at Sunday, just notice off and on rain showers, and that's going to be a trend that continues into next week. Now, one of our models is saying, all right, this rain will get out of here by midweek, but this one that I'm showing you here is our American model called the GFS, and it's suggesting that, well, it may not be out of here as quickly as you would like. But hey, we certainly need some rain, maybe a good 2 to 3 inches with this wetter pattern that is going to unfold. I mean, we've got that 10% chance of a stray shower tomorrow, but it doesn't look like anything too overwhelming. The good thing about the rain is it should help to put a damper on those really hot temperatures. So instead of temperatures being in the 90s, we may end up just being in the 80s in the afternoons next week. But of course, we don't want to see any rain over the weekend. But what about beyond the 7-day? I know we have Memorial Day not too far along here. So let's check in now with First Alert meteorologist Jill Gilardi.
Yeah, Lauren, we've been checking out that forecast day after day, looking beyond the 7-day. And like you were saying, one model has it a little bit wetter. Another model is like, yeah, we're going to be fairly dry as we go into Memorial Day weekend. So an early look right now, we'll have to see if we see that front next week either get out of here by Thursday. We have another model lingers it into Friday. So right now going with a 40% chance. And you can see that chance starts to decline as we head towards the rest of Memorial Day weekend. So hopefully we can keep that part of the forecast dry, and then once we get past day 8 and 9, it's looking fairly dry after that. The pattern kind of backs off, that wetter pattern for a week, so looking well, close to normal, equal chances, nothing going towards one extreme or the other right now. So again, it doesn't look necessarily too wet or too dry, just kind of right in the middle. Temperatures will still be warm as we look out 8 to 14 days beyond the 7-day, and it looks like some of the even hotter air will really start to surge across parts of the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. In terms of our possible high temperatures as we look beyond the 7-day, again, if we do see lower temperatures, it's possible as we go into Memorial Day weekend, and then we'll start to see that spike as we start to dry out. That tends to mean we have a high pressure system nearby, and we will tend to see very hot temperatures during that time frame. And there's a potential for a little dip here and there, but otherwise we're getting into that time of year. The only kind of dips we really see is if you get a passing shower or storm, or if you get, a front to move through and it drops the humidity. That may lead to, again, lower overnight lows, and that's about it. We don't really talk too much about cold fronts really truly bringing that cold air, do we, Lauren?
No, Jill. If we see a cold front in the summer, it's like not that impressive. But we'll be right back checking in with Mickey Ferguson on your lake forecast.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert weather team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
And before we wrap up First Alert Weather Extra this evening, we want to check in with Mickey Ferguson on the lake forecast across Central Alabama.
Hey, let's take a look at your lake forecast as we get out on the water this weekend. Beginning tomorrow, actually, at 7 a.m., about 73 degrees. And I think we're going to be able to squeeze out a dry day tomorrow. But as far as fishing, my experience is it's always best in the mornings and just before the sun sets. But if you're a dedicated fisherman, be ready for it, about 91, 92 degrees going into tomorrow afternoon. As far as our lake levels are concerned, almost all the lakes are up to full pool, with the exception here showing of Lake Tuscaloosa, still 6 feet under. You know, that sounds weird. Let's go to your lake forecast for the next couple of days. Lake Tuscaloosa does show tomorrow 92 degrees, getting up to about 91 degrees on Saturday. Now, the rain may be developing later on in the afternoon for some of our lakes off to the east. We get into your Smith Lake forecast, about a 30% chance of rain going into Saturday. And then over into Lay Lake, 50% chance of rain Saturday. And then that holds true for Lake Martin as well. So some of this rain and thunderstorm activities coming up through South Alabama, as we've been showing you. So some of those southern tier of counties might be experiencing a little bit better rain chances. Logan Martin Lake, 89 degrees on Saturday, 92 tomorrow, but a 40% chance of rain. Down to 30% for Neely Henry. It's a little further into northeast Alabama, so it may take a little bit longer for that rain to develop there. And we move on to Weiss Lake, 30% chance of rain Saturday afternoon, but by Saturday night we see a pretty good soaking and maybe some strong thunderstorms. By the way, speaking of thunderstorms, when thunder roars, go indoors. Water's a great conductor of electricity, so you don't want to be on the water when there is a lightning storm. So take the boat inside, and of course, if you're out on the lakes or just whatever you're doing today, tomorrow, this weekend, just pay attention to your First Alert weather app. It'll let you know if there's rain or lightning or storms. It'll let you know about the warnings nearby your location. And while you're there, scroll down to the bottom and send us a pic of weather, and we'll see if we can show it here on Weather Extra.
Thanks for that, Mickey. And I have been noticing y'all haven't been sending in pictures on the app today. So make sure you send those in so we can show off just how boringly hot it is outside. So as we look at that 7-day forecast here, we still are going to be mainly dry for tomorrow. But I do think we could see at least a few thunderstorms, especially areas south on Saturday, before we really ramp up that rain chance. Our next big thing arrives on Sunday. Transition to a more unsettled weather pattern as we get some disturbances to come through. And that's going to keep the weather unsettled into next week. also going to keep it not as hot. So we got that going for us. But thank you for joining us for First Alert Weather Extra. Remember, you can always tune in anytime on the WBRC First Alert Weather app and check that updated forecast tonight on WBRC at 9 p.m. I'm First Alert meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a great evening.